And so this was the semi-final, the first semi-final of the day. Manchester United taking on Chelsea, and this is how they lined up. Max Skinner there looking to lead her girls back to Wembley. You know, as you can see, he's been very, very dedicated, and following the reveal of a new contract, he has been offered a new contract by Manchester United hierarchy, and this is how Manchester United lined up for the semi-final. In goal we had Mary Abs, the England international, the England number one, and in defense, as usual, the pairing of Maya Leticia and Militana, they have been very impressive throughout the season and throughout their time in Manchester United. At left back we had Hannah Blandell, and at right back we had a new face and a new name as Mannion. I hope I got the name right, and if I didn't, please feel free to correct me. Mannion was playing at right back, and then in the middle of the pitch we had Nalsand, who has had a very, very impressive beginning to her Manchester United career. Although she has not gotten to play much of the games, but since she broke into the team, she has been consistently getting the game ahead of the likes of Haley Ladd and Guerrero. Then the enigmatic captain Paleivo Ketizele, pulling in for Manchester United, she was looking to supply things and turn the magic, pull the magic in the middle of the pitch for Manchester United. Then on right wing, we saw the addition of Lucia Garcia, the Spanish international, who has been very, very impressive. Another one key player for Manchester United this season. And Ella Toon in the number 10 role. Yeah. And then this one it seemed like a bit somewhat like a surprise, because we have not seen a lot of Leah Galton this season, but she finally pulled one back. She was able to make it in the semi-final. She pulled herself well to get back in the starting 11 a couple of weeks ago, and she maintained her place in the team, pulling in at left wing. And the surprise of the the day was veteran Rachel Williams pulling in at number 9. She was the out and out striker. Manchester United were playing in a 4-2-3-1, so Ella Toon playing in the number 10 role, flanked by Leah Galton and Lucia Garcia, and then looking to feed in the impressive veteran, the very, very vastly experienced Rachel Williams. And remember also Rachel Williams, she's a former Chelsea player, she's a former Spurs player, she's basically played everywhere in the league. She's played for Arsenal, she's played for Spurs, she's played for Everton, she's played for Chelsea, she's played for, I think, even Manchester City, if I'm not wrong. And then we're seeing her in Manchester United. She joined Manchester United in 22-23 season from Spurs, on a free, by the way. So that is how Manchester United lined up. It was a very, very surprising to see one of Manchester United's best players in Nikita Paris warming in the bench. And then in the bench we also had the return of Hinata Miyazawa, the Japanese international, who, remember, during November's international break, November or September there, she pulled out with a very, very serious knee injury that has kept her out for most of the season. Yeah. And remember, this is her first season playing in England, as she was signed in the summer. In goal we had Tulis Joyce as the substitute for Mary Apps, and then we had new signing Irene Guerrero, and then we had Melvin Mallard also on the bench, and then we had Hayley Ladd and Gemma Evans, the two Welsh international, and then up front we had Miyazawa, Parry, and I'm forgetting the name, JC Ferreira. So that was basically how Manchester United lined up for the FA semi-finals.
For the huge women's FA Cup semi-final here.
As for Chelsea, we had Hannah Hampton in goal, the impressive England international. She has been pulling in a couple of good performances in the last few weeks, and she maintained her place ahead of Sweden's Musovic. At right back we had French international Yves Perisset. And on the other flank, we had England international Niam Charles. Remember, Niam Charles is naturally a left winger, but due to lack of options in both club and country, she has been playing as a left back for England and Chelsea. So at left back we had Niam Charles, and then in the heart of the defense we had the ever impressive Kadisha Buchanan and Jess Carter. Yeah. Then in midfield we had the German international and the girl herself, Melanie Lepols, teaming up alongside Scotland international and the Scottish captain, Erin Cuthbert. Yeah. And then on the attack we had Norwegian international, Wrighton, alongside Lauren James in the number 10 role, and then Wrighton Canarade. Although we all know Lauren James likes to cut in from the wings, so it was not going to be a fixed position. And as we've all seen with Wrighton and Canarade, they also like to come in centrally. So this was going to be a very, very tricky forward line to deal with for Manchester United, and it was going to be very, very, very hard for them to make up. And remember, Manchester United had never beaten Chelsea in all competitions in their history. They had never beaten Chelsea. Sort of like Spurs and Arsenal, it had been always coming up short, always just coming up short and very close to doing it. We've seen a couple of draws, we've seen a couple of draws between them, but Manchester United were looking for a first win against Chelsea in all competitions. And then the stage was set, the FA Cup semi-finals. Yeah, the defending champions versus the previous finalist, whom they beat. And then up front we had Colombian international Maya Ramirez. Remember, she's been signed on. She came in the January winter transfer, coming in to replace Maya Fischel and Sam Kerr. Not really to replace them, but to hold out the fort for them, because as we all know, Maya Fischel and Sam Kerr got ACL injuries in the international breaks, and therefore they could not be able to continue to help Chelsea in the second half of the season. And remember, Chelsea were now looking for a treble, having been beaten by Arsenal in the Conti Cup final, so denying them a very, very famous quadruple, on Emma Hayes' last season as a Chelsea manager. And then on the bench, as I told you, we had Musovic, the Swedish international. She's finally she pulled up on the substitute bench. Then we had Sophie Ingle. Then we had Nusken, the impressive wonder kid, the young German international. Then we had Katarina Macario, who herself is coming back from a 2-year layoff in an ACL injury. She's had the longest time off. The American international, she has scored in every game that she has played in for the first time in all her debut. She scored in her WSL debut, she scored in her Conti Cup debut, she scored in her FA Cup debut. Are we going to see her score in her FA Cup semi-final? Wait and see. In defense, we had Canadian international Lawrence. Lawrence was pulling up as a substitute. Then we had Kankovic, and we had Aggie Beaver Jones, as well as Kabi and Hamano. So this is a very, very strong team for Chelsea, and it was definitely good to get the results.
Manchester United against Chelsea, and there is the Manchester United manager, Mark Skinner, looking to lead them to Wembley for the second time in their history, as at the start of this game the players take the message against racism still clear. So a repeat of last season's FA Cup final, which Chelsea won by a goal to nil, thanks to a goal from Sam Kerr, who is one of several big names still missing for the Blues through injury. They are looking to bench and scored in their last match against Everton, but to have her able to play a part from the start, exactly what United need coming into this game. And this is why. Look at her go, Leah Colton, Garcia in the centre, Garcia's there! Manchester United in the front inside the opening minutes of this Women's FA Cup semi-final. And that is why Leah Colton is such a big player for Mark Skinner to have back. Garcia finishes it off, but it's all about the work from Colton down that left-hand side. Perfect start for Manchester United 1-0.
Lucia Garcia putting Manchester United up top. And what a cross. What a beautiful cross from Leah Galton. That is good. That is good ring play by the England international manager.
It's not good enough.
Very, very poor clearance from Perisic.
Can I get it into the box?
And Leah Galton delivers a good cross that is met by an equally good finish from Lucia Garcia. Yeah, she sends back Hannah Hampton where she was from by putting the ball back in the other corner to against the run of play from Hannah Hampton. Manchester United taking the lead early on there. 40 seconds played. 40 seconds played. 40 seconds in. That one really rattled Chelsea early on.
Charles, look at the space for Whiten. If she can find her, and she can. Good Whiten. Now James. But she's going to get that reception all afternoon when she's off target.
Remember, James was returning to Leicester Village, having also been a former Manchester United player, and of course, she was going to be a target for the Leicester Village crowd, especially against their own team.
Yeah. She hits the target. And 9 times out of 10, it's even finding its way into the back features of their manager, Mark Skinner, and several of their players. Here comes Chelsea. Let's come watch all the way out of the penalty area. Nelson, Cuthbert has it though. James, Written Connery, still going.
Many yards from early on, pulling all the saves, pulling all the goods. The England's number one, proving to Sarina Wiegman and everyone why she's England's number one, why she's FIFA best goalkeeper, why she's the reigning WSL Golden Glove winner. Mary Apps, world class. She's world class as they come.
Team under pressure from low pass, and she's done brilliantly. Team with the delivery.
And look who made it a second for Manchester United. It's the former Chelsea striker, Rachel Williams with a header. Rachel Williams with another goal for Manchester United, making it 2-0. What a well-taken header. What a goal. And of course, we cannot forget the impressive work that Elatin did to be able to deliver in the ball, to be able to win back the ball from Eve Perissé once again, and not only just win the ball and reclaim possession, but to make it count and proven to be a good one. Elatin getting the better of birthday girl Melanie Lepose. And delivering a very, very good cross. What some impressive work. Elatin, what a run of play. And the best one in the game. The best one in the game when it comes to finishing up the headers. Rachel Williams with a dagger to the hearts of Chelsea. Making it 2-0 at 20 in the 20th minute.
Bit of space, deflection, corner, and no more. Chelsea's Erin Cuthbert.
And as usual, Chelsea did not take this one lying down. They came back fighting. Emma Hayes always comes back fighting. Chelsea, you can never rule out Chelsea.
Too much space at the edge of the box there. She's got Ellen. Williams is there. Not quite the connection this time. But Manchester United will be absolutely delighted with this performance so far. Chelsea very much second best. They definitely will be. They haven't had a lot of opportunities, but when they have, they've been clinical. Rachel Williams, they're just snatching at it slightly as it comes across from Katie Zellen. Just a little bit. Ball through to Cuthbert. Space closed down quickly. Charles is there. I think Whiten just distracted her there. Cuthbert has it. And the header at the far post won't be Champions League places. 6 points behind Arsenal have a game in hand as James dips the ball into the side netting. Still not coming off for Lauren James. But in terms of, if you look at isolated games, that has been a real struggle for them, hasn't it? Getting the better, not that they haven't done it, but getting the better of them. Here comes Chelsea once more. Lypols. Perissé. Good delivery, Ramirez is there. And unlike Rachel Williams, Unlike Lucia Garcia at the other end, she can't take her headed chance.
She can't, but it's more positive for Chelsea. There's bodies in the box there, combining well. It's a good delivery. It's defended well by Laetitia, could you say? Or could you also say she gets pushed? It's a push in the back from the
Perisset. Decent delivery and the header brilliantly saved.
Very up there with a brilliant save to deny Lauren James. Lauren James had really placed that header deep in the far post. She was beating the Manchester United defense to it, and she almost beat Mary Abs. But the FIFA best goalkeeper, she was up to the task.
Lauren James rises highest. It might have been about to hit the post, but Mary Ertz wasn't to know either way.
Yeah.
Got herself across, put the hand to it, and out for a corner.
That's the marks of a proactive goalkeeper. You don't wait for things to happen. You make them happen. Mary Abs keeping Manchester United in the game.
Brighton, good 1-2. This is better from Chelsea. They're finishing this half strong.
But there was no stopping this one. A good run of play between Brighton and Niam Charles on the left-hand side of Chelsea, and the England international tees up her fellow teammates, and they make it pull one back for Chelsea, and none other than Lauren James. Former Manchester United player coming back to hunt down their own, back in her old stomping grounds. And the drama there, Militana fighting for the ball with Lauren James, trying to stop their momentum, you know. It sort of brings, it made it very, very dramatic and feisty.
Perfect for Lauren James.
Militana there, just being cheeky, man, just being cheeky. Come on, give them the ball. Give them the ball. You don't need to do that. That was a careless booking, but it was good to rattle up the crowd. It was good to rattle up the LSV crowd. Yeah.
Chelsea will be delighted that it was Lauren
Niam Charles with the assist, Lauren James with the finish, and this time she beats Mary up. This time she beats Mary up, and she almost had her way with Militana.
To get that goal back on what was nearly the final action of the half.
Oh, it's huge. It changes both managers' team talks considerably. Does Emma Hayes now need to make those changes she might have been thinking about making? Does she stick with it? We've turned it around a bit. We've got the goal. We can now continue and build on that into the second half. And for Mark Skin,
season with the Blues after they saw their quadruple.
So the first half went in 2-1, and this is the second half. Chelsea came calling. They were always knocking, but Mary Abs was always there to deny them.
Pulling them out of position. Cut back in onto that effort. There's too many bodies in there. Able to make the block.
Republic of Ireland after Ertz started against Sweden. More thoughts on that in a moment, but Chelsea coming forward once more, looping delivery, cleared away, Lightballs with the try, blocked away. Manchester United living dangerously at the moment,
and another massive save by Mary Abs. What a save! Mary Abs proving to the world why she's the FIFA best goalkeeper once again. Look at those reactions. Look at those reactions from Mary Abs. The header was well placed, but she pulled in her nerves, all her guts, and she was able to parry it away from her goal. Once again denying Lauren James. And remember, she's beaten her already, so she was not going to get beaten for the second time. Mary Alexandria Abs for you. That's why she's England's number one. That's why she's England's number one.
Hey look, I'm here and I'm still number one.
Yeah.
Pulled into action here again. Missing Connery still going. Trying to play it through to Ramirez. He's run. The CCA sliding in. Did win the ball away from James. Cuthbert has it. Almost ran into goals, but she's done brilliantly. Richard Connery. Room for the shot. All big shots for handball.
There is a shout for handball. There is a shout for handball against Katie Zellen. Yeah, and it really looks plausible. It really looks plausible because Her hand is not in a natural position. Her hand is not in a natural position. Let's just put that one out there. And in the absence of VAR in the FA Cup final, Chelsea feel like they were denied a penalty. Chelsea feel like they were denied a penalty, especially in a very, very important part of the match. I mean, I know this one will not go down well with Chelsea fans. Yeah.
But you're right, it's all Chelsea right now. Could she have done better with the first? I think if that had resulted in a goal, she'd have been frustrated at herself where it was deflected into.
It's been so much to praise about this performance. James swings it in. This is the arms of Mary Earps. It's that time. The goalkeeper's going to ground in the 6-yard box, Chelsea.
It is. As you said before, easier said than done. That Wembley.
Ashley Lawrence coming in the second half, as well as Katarina Macario, who always scored from the corner herself. Hitting the bar.
So close to an equaliser in fortuitous circumstances. And what an effort.
Katarina Macario should ask Katie McCabe and Steph Catley how to do it from the corner, because she was almost scoring from the corner herself. She just needs a couple of few lessons from the Arsenal duo. Paris there with a chance, but she squandered it. That is rather tame. It was rather tame from the England forward. She could have done much better with it.
Here comes Chelsea come again. Macario is so congested in there, but a bit of space now.
Agudeva Jones shoots wide. Was it the best of decision? No. Was it the best of option? No. She could have struck to the far right end of the corner rather than Mary Earps near post, or maybe try to pull it back inside. Yeah, the finish was not good. The best option was on the top right hand side corner, Mary Earps right hand side.
Could result in a deflected goal. Could result in a rebound. Hitting it wide.
Oh, and it breaks Carney from that on the early shot.
Melvin Mallet there almost scored a goal, long range goal, spotting Hannah Hampton away from her line. She almost confirmed everything for Manchester United. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant way to send your team to Wembley.
Spotting Hannah Hampton from her line, but the finish quite a bit lacking. Yeah.
Macario's delivery. Hampton's there. It was met by Lawrence, and Earps were watching behind. History for Manchester United.
That was pretty much it, as Manchester United finally vanquished their demons. Manchester United finally were able to pull in the goods, and they finally beat the old rival. They got their revenge against Chelsea, dumping them out of the FA Cup finals and further dwindling down their dreams and turning down from a treble to now a possible double. And it was a very, very impressive performance. It was a very, very impressive result for Manchester United. You know, they've finally been able to vanquish the demons again, as I've told you. They've finally beaten the old rival. They've got their revenge back, beating Chelsea. Chelsea knocked them out of the final. They denied them a trophy twice last season. And this time, Manchester United returned the favor. They also denied Chelsea another trophy. So that was how the first game unfolded. Now let's go on to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Spurs were playing Leicester City in the second match of the semi-final.
Devastating defeats. They've been very consistent this season, and shaking hands with the interim manager.
Bethany England there leading Spurs in their first ever FA Cup semi-final, looking to go into their first ever final.
Into his conduct led to his dismissal. She came in the day before.
As you can see, Spurs lining up there with Jamaican international Spencer. Spencer was lining up in goal. Then we had Ash Neville, James Turner, Bula, and Milden in the defense. In midfield, Spurs lined up with Grace Clinton, Jade Spence, and then Sumaren. And then in the front of attack, we had a sort of a two-forward attack in Naz and England, and then they were being supported by Bizet Idusi in the heart of defense. So Spurs lined up in a 4-3-3 formation, sort of like a 4-3-1-2, with Naz and England being the primary strikers. At the heart of and then in the substitute bench we had Votikova, then we had Australian international Charlie Grant, then we had Morgan Bartrip, we had Peltzbaja, then we had Vinberg, we had Graham, and Atinen. And also there was the addition of Chinese veteran and well-experienced international midfielder Shuang Wang, and then the most impressive, one of the best players of Spurs this season, Martha Thomas, the former Manchester United striker. She started out on the bench. So this is how Spurs were looking up to go into the FA Cup semi-final against Leicester.
They won that. They haven't won since. This is such a high
As for Leicester, things as they were looking in their bench, Leicester played out in a 4-1-4-1 formation. At goal we had Kopp, who had been very, very impressive benching the German international Janina Leitzig. Then in the defense we had a very, very unorthodox player playing in the left back. We had Yanis Kayman. Remember, Yanis Kayman is more of a winger, more of an attacking player, but she was lining up in the left back position. And then on the other side of the flank we had Bot playing as a right back, and then in the heart of the defense we had Green and Howard. Holding up the midfield was Japanese international Takarada, supporting the likes of Sam Tiani, who is traditionally a defender, but he's a very, very attack-minded defender. And I get this is why now Yanis Kayman comes in as a left back, because Samtiani herself she plays on the left-hand side of the game. So out of the ball, out of position, she was definitely going to be the one who was dropping back in that left back position, because Yanis Kayman, she tends to go further upward. She tends to go further forward. So in the final four or final five, as you'd like to call it, it was Yuta Rantala playing in as a right winger. Then we had Momiki in the number 10 role there in those pockets of space between 8 and 10. And then we had Deanne Rose, the Canadian international, was pulling in at the left wing for Leicester City. And then in the front line of attack, it was none other than German international Peterman. So that is how Leicester City, that is how the Foxes looked lined up as they went on to take on Spurs in the semi-final of the FA Cup.
Semi-final between Manchester United and Chelsea later on. Those two well used to the
Grace Clinton, just how important has the Manchester United loanee been to Spurs?
It will be history.
Villarham there looking to go to make history for Spurs and push them into their first ever major cup final.
James Turner. Loose pass.
Spurs there early on, almost being caught.
Sent just wide by
Samtiani almost making it 1-0. The Leicester captain almost made it 1-0 for Spurs, for Leicester City. Sloppy passing from Spurs.
I'm not sure how wide it was, but
although Tiani, she could have done better. She could have progressed with the ball. She could have made more of a chance. Yeah.
Options in the middle. Beth England is one of them, but it's claimed by Kopp.
Really, really, really clever play there from Drew Spence. She just gets it in, she just flicks it round. Grace Clinton, very direct, and I think that's what Jessica Naz offers you. She's direct, she's an outlet. You see what's happening, she's just holding up for Beth England to get there. Here they're safe in the league, but they've got FA Cup run.
Here's Clinton.
It's a loose ball from Green. Here's Clinton pirouetting away. That's a great touch. It's Milden. Straight to Kopp, who makes the save. Corner kick.
Milden, that is a poor finish from Milden. She could have done better considering the way Grace Clinton was able to open up the space and open up her. It was a good passing from Grace Clinton. She spotted her so well and in the right time.
touch, to be honest with you.
The first touch was good, but the finish was a bit lacking. She could have put the ball in the bottom left corner of the goalkeeper. Yeah, that was the better. It was the better chance. But Spurs coming on early on, pushing early on for a goal. It was good to set the crowd going.
That's really good play from Bizet. Too strong. Charging forward, Clinton finds Bizet.
Bizet with a chance, but she squanders her shot and the opportunity fizzles out. Spurs really had themselves to blame. In the first half, they had so many chances. Bizet, her first touch, not as impressive. She let the ball flow for too long. She let it roll for quite a long time. But
here is the dangerous Yuta Rantala.
And then in the 11th minute, Rantala with a cliff banger cutting in from the left side cutting in from the right side to her left foot. She unleashes a cliff banger, a belter of a shot to put Leicester City up front.
She's been doing that all season. She's done it in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Leicester ahead. A rasper from Rantala.
What a finish, even I went, ooh! She gets the ball,
that was a beautiful finish. It was a beautiful finish. Cutting in from the right, on into her left, and then unleashing the shot. That was a goal. Just on the edge of the box. Not even in the box, just on the edge of the box.
It's an absolute rocket.
That was a rocket. It was a rocket, no doubt. I completely agree with you, Sanderson, there. That was a rocket. She hit it hard, she hit it true. And that is Leicester City 1-0 in the FA Cup semi-final. Leicester City 1-0 against Spurs away from home.
It's becoming her trademark, Rantala.
Yuta Rantala. With one of the goals of the season, basically.
Time on Tottenham's side, but that's really good play from Cayman, trying to slip it through for Rose. Tierney!
Again, Tierney! She could have scored another one. It was laid on her foot, but Spencer pulling in with the save and putting her feet at the path of the goal and stopping it from becoming two. Spurs are lucky to be in the game. Spurs were lucky to be remaining in the match.
See how swinger it's deep. Howard wins it.
Leicester didn't come to play. They didn't come to joke around.
Options right and left. Finds Naz. Clinton hanging out on the edge of the box. It's Naz. Namiki. Rose in behind.
Dean Rose pulling in some good work on the left hand side. That was almost resting on the bottom corner. The pace Jessica Naz there. Sports Bethany England.
Finds Beth England. Box. Well, it's a difficult one. Really well done with by Cott. Yes, sir. Now Naz. It's got the better of Cayman a couple of times, and she does again here. It's Naz! Wide.
Naz had a couple of chances, but she did not take them. She couldn't take them early on.
They just allow her to do what she's best at.
She really had a good time against Yanis Cameron in the left back. Yeah, she was having a great time there. Always getting the better of her. But ultimately, the end result was the one which was lacking.
Yeah, great punch again.
For Rose. Here is Namiki. Cayman. On the roof of the net.
A good link-up play there. From Leicester, obviously, had Rose involved, Peterman involved with me.
Comes the corner. Over the top from Sumanen.
I didn't know at first if it was Sumanen who won it, or the Leicester. But yeah, Sumanen's just leaning back. She's arguing that it's a corner.
From Green. Sent forward by Potts. Oh, that header doesn't have the legs, it's Rose.
Oh, Dean Rose.
The composure.
She lacked the composure in the final moments of the action. She could have made it 2-0 for Leicester, but the ball was a bouncing ball, so it was always going to be tricky for Dean Rose to be able to control it, and the chance fizzles out. Leicester City leading Spurs 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium, courtesy of Yuta Rantala's belter of a goal. Yeah. Leicester City have been enjoying much of the bigger chances in that first half, and they almost made it 2-0 through a couple of chances. In the second half, Tottenham kicked it off for Spurs.
Leicester leading thanks to a brilliant goal from Yuta Rantala.
Came on.
He's on the move again. Plays in Peterman.
Peterman almost with a good chance to make it 2-0, but she stays with the ball a bit longer and the chance fizzles out.
As well, because I thought she got away. Again here, obviously, it's not really dealt with at all by...
But a good run from the German to open up the space. She could have finished it first time. It was the best option.
Down the line for England. Spence on the overlap. England goes for it. Trying to find the top corner. Not quite precise enough.
Yeah, good from Beth England there, but important from Drew Spence as well, because Drew Spence has an overlap around Beth England. So obviously Leicester a little bit conscious, which allows them...
Here's Drew Spence. On to Clinton. Heavy touch. But it runs here. And it's just over the top for Amanda Neildon.
I think Grace Finland was hoping that Neildon was going to play him out on the outside. Instead she cuts back in. Grace Finland picks the ball up here. Heavy touch. But here I think she thought she was going to slip her. But she doesn't.
In a loaded 6-yard area. Schumann.
The chances went begging and begging. The chances went begging and begging for Spurs. So many opportunities. It almost looked like it was one of those days whereby they were just going to miss all of their chances and then get punished.
Yeah, just leads back a little bit, goes with the laces. Yeah, straight over.
Grace Clinton.
Again, Spurs with another opportunity to equalize the game. Clinton finds Jessica Naz, and Jessica Naz drops the ball in with a poor delivery, wasting the opportunity for Spurs.
Karana down. Play on, says the referee. Here's Clinton. Digs out the cross towards Thomas. Inches away.
Yeah, really good idea from Clinton there.
England.
Naz with another poor delivery. The former Arsenal graduate. She was just losing the ball for no apparent reason.
Beautifully collected.
Those were vital moments for Spurs, and to lose the ball like that was poor. That was poor from her.
Trying to find Rantala. Here is Rantala again. Not this time.
Rantala always a constant menace to the Spurs defense, always looking to punish them.
Good play from Bot. You see, Rantala's what opens up. You think she's got one thing on her mind, so.
Corner kick duty now. Delivered low towards England. The near post, not the easiest of chances. Gets to her feet. England.
Jessica Naz there being put in through by Beth England, and the former Arsenal graduate finishes to make it 1-1 for Spurs. After having a couple of poor moments in decision making moments and losing the ball, but Jessica Naz leveled the game for Spurs in the 81st minute to give back hopes to the Lily Whites, and Spurs were back in it. 1-1 in the FA Cup final, in the FA Cup semi-final, sorry. 1-1 at home. But what a good ball. What a good ball from Bethany, England. The vision, the instinct to spot Jessica Naz and trusting in the youngster's pace and ability to break down the line. That was a beautiful goal. Well taken goal. And as you can see there, the referee and in her sleep laughing in with Jessica Naz. I know she definitely also enjoyed that one. That was poor from them. How can you miss such a ball? But then again, this is the beauty of football. You make a mistake, you get punished immediately, and that is what Spurs did. They punished Leicester for all their mispasses and their one moment that they were so poor on the ball. They punished them, and it is basically what we live for. This is the beauty of the game. This is what makes football exciting.
Accomplished, precise, right into the corner. The bot on the retreat.
And with that goal, Spurs came rolling and rolling. It really did inspire them. It really did push them. It motivated them, and it even gave them a sight for even more goals. And they came on battering at Leicester's goalpost.
Yeah, really playing at the left-hand side there for Tottenham.
Charlie Grant with the ball there.
Ball into the box.
But Bethany England could not finish it. But Leicester will not go down lying, so they did all they could.
Still going,
O'Brien there twisting and turning and leaving a couple of Spurs defenders on the ground, but ultimately let down by her finish. Yeah. The twist and turns. She leaves Nevin for dead there. She comes again for Martha Thomas, and the last option is the one which really lets her down. She couldn't have squared it up for Momiki. Momiki was wide open. B. Andros was wide open. So that was quite another wrong decision for them. That one can never be a penalty. It was too easy, man. Yeah, this is just good defending. Charlie Grant, wake up. This is the WSL. Get up. That was an impressive defending from Bot. Credit to the defender.
Cross comes in. Thomas! Artinen, right on the keeper, Kopp. There's good distance on the punch. Bingo back in, it's Thomas!
Martha Thomas almost made it 2-1 on added time, with the ball just going past Kopp and Bot in a couple of inches. That one almost had us. Martha Thomas. Kopp with a very huge hit. It was a hit save from Kopp. She just parries it with her fingers to finally fire it away from the goal, a few inches away. A very good shift from the Leicester City goalkeeper, I must say. That was a very good shift. It's been a very good shift from Kopp. She really pulled in the goods. She really came into fold. She came into edge in this game.
For me, I don't really want Beth England out there. I want her in the box. What's a good delivery in? Grant come off the back shoulder.
Grant almost made it 2-1 for Spurs in the death of the game, but she was denied by the impressive Kopp.
And it's not over yet. Jessica Naz.
And the game finishing at 1-1 in the 90th minute, it had to go to extra time because we had to get a winner in this one. We had to get a winner. So, playing in at extra time of the first half.
Mighty cross. Well played by Kopp.
I must say, this Leicester City goalkeeper Kopp, she's been very impressive. Yeah, she was impressive in this game.
It's Rantala.
Rantala strikes the bar again with a very impressive free kick. That was going in. That was going to be one of the goals of the season for me. Remember having also scored one of the best goals of the match of the round. For her to be able to pull in another free kick would have been so good.
England brings it away. Lindbergh making the run. Just a little buffet as Lindbergh went for goal there. Yeah, it's great. Half time or extra time?
Half time of the extra time, also ending in another draw with no difference. The game went on into the second half of the extra time.
So 1-1. But keeps it in and delivers. Level clip.
Gives it to Palmer, and Palmer just kicks it straight to Becky Spencer.
Oh, that's a short back pass, and Spencer.
Palmer was getting caught out there in the second half of the extra time with some poor passing. They had to rely on Spurs to come to their rescue.
Spencer will not be happy.
Just when it looks things were going to be over for Spurs, then came in Martha Thomas. Just when things looked like they were bleak, came in Martha Thomas with a goal. And Martha Thomas wins it for Spurs. Martha Thomas sends Spurs into the FA Cup final. This was a well-taken header. This was one of those moments. At the 26th minute, Martha Thomas scores the all-important goal to send Villaham's guys into the final. What a moment for the Scotland international. What a time. What a time to score in your goal. Finally, Cope has been beaten again, and Leicester City will feel heartbroken with literally no time to play. This was a heartbreaker. You know, this struck them in the heart.
Where Martha Thomas is, but she just comes up to it, she just wants it more. She's unfortunate for Ireland winning. It's a really difficult situation to be in. She thinks she's got time. I've been there as a defender, you think you've got all the time to work, but that for Martha Thomas is the hunger, the want. Wow, you just hear the stadium, the roar when Martha Thomas puts that ball in. Leicester deal with the first one. Some Leicester fans ain't got a clue where Martha Thomas is, but she just comes up to it, she just wants it more. She's unfortunate for Ireland winning. It's a really difficult situation to be in. She thinks she's got time. I've been there as a defender, you think you've got all the time to work, but that for Martha Thomas is the hunger, the want, the drive to be the third person to win that ball. To play there is a great header.
Martha Thomas with another goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Enjoying the big stage, and it looks like she's going to enjoy the biggest stage of all. Wembley awaits Tottenham Hotspur. So little time for Leicester to get back into this. Could this be last chance saloon for Leicester? It's delivered low. Oh, the goalkeeper's there. Cut, headed towards goal. All hands to the pump for Spurs. Cayman's shot's blocked, and Nels gets rid of it. And the goalkeeper's one out of a goal. The attempt doesn't have many legs on it, and it will be cleared up. But there we have it. It's history for Tottenham Hotspur. In their first ever semi-final, they have made it to their first ever FA Cup final. Oh, they've had to do it the hard way, going behind for such an early goal that they produced.
and we are set for the Women's FA Cup. It's going to be a first-time winner, either in Manchester United or Tottenham Hotspurs. Well, this has been a very exciting. This is a very polarizing weekend. Things have not gone as per plan. Most people kind of expected Chelsea to see it through against Manchester United. Yeah. I know most of you thought maybe Emma Hayes on his last hurrah in the English women's game. But surprise, life comes at you fast. Yeah. Anyways, guys, welcome to the channel. This is the Fantasy Football KE show, and today we are going to focus solely on the women's football. Yeah, today we are going to focus on women's affairs, and it's going to be the FA Women's Cup. Yeah. So, without much further ado, let's get on right into it. As usual, I am your host, kama kawaida. I am Papa D, aka Papa Deno. You can reach me out on socials. You can find me out on X or Instagram. Just check out my handle at IAM_Papa_D. Okay, let's get on with it. Chelsea and Manchester United battled out to a feisty FA Cup semi-final at the Leicester Village, that is Manchester United's home ground. Yeah, that is where Manchester United women play most of their home games. Besides the big ones, which ones usually happen at Old Trafford, or when there is no clashing of the stadiums, clashing of the home games with the men's team. So Chelsea visited Leicester Village, hoping to go into their, is it 5th or 6th running FA Cup final? Yeah. Anyways, they were hoping to go to Wembley back to back at the expense of Manchester United, and boy oh boy, that one turned out, it did not go out as expected for the Blues. They lost 2-1 courtesy of goals from Rachel Williams and Lucia Garcia before Lauren James was able to pull one back for Chelsea. So Chelsea sort of fell short there, and they exit their second title, their second cup, their second tournament. So it's not going to be a treble for Emma Hayes. Remember, the quadruple dream ended the quadruple dream did end at Molineux Stadium when Arsenal beat them 1-0 thanks to Ostina Blackstenius' goal. And so Chelsea were looking at the very best to make it a treble winning season, to give their best, their most successful manager Emma Hayes a good send off. But as things stand, Chelsea at best they will have to do a double, hoping maybe to defend their WSL crown and go for that elusive Champions League title. Yeah. Elsewhere in another semi-final, it was Spurs versus Leicester City, and Spurs women were able to beat Leicester City women 2-1 courtesy of goals from Jess Naz, the former Arsenal graduate, and Martha Thomas, the former Manchester United striker. This one is gearing up to be a very entertaining one. So the finals of the FA Cup are set, and it is going to be Spurs women versus Manchester United. Spurs will be the home team. This one is just for formality because the game will be played in Wembley. Yeah, while Manchester United will be the visiting team. So basically, Spurs will be at home, considering Wembley is usually in London. So Manchester United traveling down south again. Remember, Manchester United this is their second running FA Cup final after losing out to Chelsea last season. Yeah, losing out 1-0 to Chelsea last season. So Manchester United will be looking to probably make it second time lucky, considering their loss to Chelsea, as I've told you in the previous section. Yeah. So this is how things went down. Let me just unpack how things went down for you, because this is a history making. It was a history making weekend for both teams. Spurs have never been into any major cup final in the women's division in England football. So for them to make it into the FA Cup finals, and remember this is against the run of play, because you had teams like Manchester City, you had teams like Arsenal, you had perennial winners like Chelsea, and then as I've told you, we had teams like Leicester City who have been sort of like the wild horse of the tournament. For them even to reach the semi-finals, it was a massive improvement for the Foxes. So Spurs did themselves a mighty huge favor, coming back down from 1 goal down after Yuta Rantala had scored a very tremendous goal, a very beautiful banger to put Leicester City ahead in the semi-finals. Spurs had to rally, getting the equalizer late in the second half in the 84th minute when former Arsenal academy graduate Jessica Naz pulling up with the goods. Running out and providing an excellent finish after being put through by Bethany England. Yeah, so just Naz utilized her exorbitant pace, utilized her very massive pace, and was able to beat the Leicester City defense and finish off to beat Janina Leipzig at the Leicester City box. So Jessica Naz there equalizing the game for Spurs before the game went on to extra time, and then in the extra time the clincher came from Manchester United's stalwart and former striker Martha Thomas, the Scotland international, pulling up with the goods in Spurs' most needed moments. Remember, she also scored in their first ever win against Arsenal in all competitions when they beat Arsenal 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the WSL. And here again, Martha Thomas pulling up with the goods to score the winner for Spurs, and send them to Wembley for the first time in their history. Wow. That was fantastic. That was fantastic, Manze. Even I, as an Arsenal fan, I have to agree with that. When you go for the big moments, when you go for it, when you fight for your dreams will definitely fight for you. So you see, Martha Thomas has sort of been having a reinvention season. Remember, she was largely unknown. Being in Manchester United, she hardly featured in games. Max Skinner sort of preferred. She preferred the likes of Russo. He preferred the likes of Russo, sorry. He preferred the likes of Toon, the likes of Lucia Garcia up front, the likes of Galton, the likes of Nikita Paris. So for Martha Thomas being at Manchester United, she was hardly getting any play. She hardly got any sort of impact at all. But when she moved to Spurs, remember she moved to Spurs on a free, by the way. She joined Spurs Women on a free in the summer. So her moving to Spurs has been quite a revelation. She's already scored back-to-back hat-tricks in the WSL, more than any other Manchester United player has done in the WSL. So I mean, even that individually, that one is an individual flex for her. So Martha Thomas continues with her impressive beginning in North London, scoring the winner for Spurs there against Leicester City to send them to Wembley and into their first ever major cup final, that is the Adobe Women's FA Cup. That was a very it was a win. It was a win for football, a win for the women's game. Remember this game being played out in the weekend, at the same weekend whereby we had the Premier League running, but being able to in itself hold out and pull in the crowds. That was very impressive. Yeah. And then again, let's get into the next semi-final, whereby Chelsea were looking to make it back-to-back appearances at Wembley. Looking into it sort of looked more of a formality for most of Chelsea fans, although as we all know in football, nothing is given, nothing is guaranteed. So, and it proved to be the case. The game started out with aplomb, with Manchester United's Lucia Garcia opening the scoring with a well-taken header to put the Red Devils up front. Wow, that was a very good goal. It was nice. It was dope, Manze. Watching from this game, I watched this game by the way. I was catching up with it before the Premier League games began, because the FA Cup game started out a bit earlier. So watching this game, to be able to have such a huge impact early on in the game, Lucia Garcia really set Manchester United rolling for the game. She really put them on that path. She instigated the win. And to be fair, Man United really started well. They were excellent. They were excellent in the first 20 minutes. And for them, they were able to be rewarded. They got another goal soon, courtesy of veteran and former Chelsea player. This one was definitely going to hurt Chelsea. Being stabbed in the back by a former Chelsea player, by a former player. Being stabbed in the back by a former player is not. It is not. It is not a regular thing. It is not something that you can really look forward to, especially going on into the FA Cup semi-finals. But Rachel Williams ni nani? Rachel Williams pulling up with the goods after a very good delivery from Ella Toon. That was a very good combination, and the veteran, using her aerial prowess, she put the ball past Hannah Hampton, and Manchester United were 2-0. They went on 2-0 up front against the reigning champions. That was quite a beginning of things at the Lay Sports Village. That was quite impressive, As we all say, if you want to go for the raffle, you go in early, and Manchester United did not disappoint. To be fair, they dominated the early parts of the game. Yeah, they were so impressive with their passes, the way they were controlling the game, the way they were managing the moments. Because in this sort of games, it is 50% and 60%. I would even give it to 70% down to mentality. Managing the moments, controlling your emotions, controlling your aggression, because you have to have a certain amount of aggression, not too much, so that you are not playing a very bad game, injuring other players and getting into clumsy fouls, and then again, just the right amount of aggression to keep the opponent at toe. And for this game, I would say Manchester United pulled up to the task well prepared. Yeah. So Manchester United took on a 2-0 lead, courtesy of Rachel Williams, after a very fantastic cross from Ella Toon. I know the Toon Hive was beaming with delight after that sort of performance from the England international. So, but Chelsea, as we all expect from Chelsea, they sort of dragged themselves back into the game. As the half progressed, they kept on badgering and coming in to ask all the questions at Manchester United's goals. And Man United had to rely a lot on the prowess of England's number one, Mary Apps. So a lot of this win, it hinges a lot. On this win, it hinges a lot on the performance of the England international. Mary Apps pulled in a couple of good saves, including 2 headers to stop her England international teammate Lauren James, although she did finally manage to breach the Manchester United defense. But the 2 saves that Mary Apps had to save from Lauren James, they were world class. They were fast. They were just, you could not even have scripted it, man, because she really was in her element on Sunday. Mary Apps there, freshly from signing a new sponsorship deal with Puma, coming out from Adidas. Yeah. She proved in why the German brand went in all out for her, because it was a big money deal. Suffice to say, she deserves it, of course, but it was a big money deal. Coming out from Adidas to join Puma, it can't be just for mere pennies and peanuts. Just to put it out there. I'm not saying she did it for the money, but she got a good bag out of it. And as you can see in her FA Cup performances, I mean, she was worth every other penny. I know Puma sitting down in their offices right now, they are looking like, oh God, how did we manage to get this sort of bargain? How did we manage to get this bargain signing into our books? So that's pretty much it. Mary Apps she pulled in a couple of good saves, especially in the first half, denying 2 headers from Lauren James to keep Man United is still in the game. And at that point, the game being 2-0 and Chelsea pushing and pushing and coming at Manchester United, I would say those saves were game-winning saves. They kept Manchester United in the game just enough until they could not hold out anymore. But in the grand scheme of things, it all worked out very well in the end. Yeah. Again in the second half, Chelsea were continuously badgering, and as we all know, Emma Hayes does not go down. She does not go down lying down waiting to waiting to lose. She rallied up her Blues army, and Chelsea came on fighting. I'll go on to say that Manchester United in that second half, they proved themselves defensively. Mary Earps pulling another save after save, save after save, save after save. It was a very, very important performance. It was a very, very vital performance. Yeah. And sort of gave Sarina Wigman, because I know Sarina Wigman was watching in the stands. She usually attends this sort of games. And as an England manager, with Euro 2025 qualifiers still to play in the summer, the qualifiers for the Euro 2025. Remember, the Women's Euro 2025 will be held in Switzerland. Yeah, it's going to be held in Switzerland. So the qualifiers are continuing in this summer. And Sarina Wigman, watching from the stands, she would have been pleased because it was basically Mary Earps versus Hannah Hampton, and in this moment Mary Earps came out tops. Yeah, Hannah Hampton, she was not that much troubled, I would say, especially in the second half. But her conceding those 2 early goals, it did not do well for her in that manner. Although she did have quite a good performance herself, yeah, as she has been having in the, she has been performing also very well in the WSL. Yeah, remember Hannah Hampton has only played. This was her 11th match of the season. 11th, yeah, and the second one in the FA Cup. Yeah. Remember, she started getting a lot of games in the middle of the season, probably because in the WSL she has played 9 games, 10 games. If I'm correct, it's going. I think it's 10 games. So, and she has 5 clean sheets. So I think it's 9. Sorry, it's not 10 games, it's 9, and she has 5 clean sheets. And she's proved vital in their wins against Manchester City in the FA Cup, dumping the Blues, the Citizens out of the FA Cup, and then also in their vital win in the WSL against Arsenal. Because if Arsenal were able to get any sort of points in that match, it could have been proved very, very difficult for Chelsea and their cause to defend the title. So Sarina Wigman was really, really spoiled for choice. 2 excellent goalkeepers, in as much as the more experienced one sort of took the day. The experience of Mary Earps really, really proved in handy last Sunday. Because, being able to keep out Lauren James, being able to keep out the likes of Katarina Macario, the likes of Maria Ramirez, the likes of writing Carey, it is a very, very hard job. And Mary Earps, she proved up to the task. She was even voted the player of the round by the FA women's panel. She was voted player of the round. And for a goalkeeper to be able to get such accolades, remember, this was a history-making weekend for the FA Cup. As I told you, Chelsea had never lost to Manchester United in any competition. They had never lost to Manchester United. And Manchester United, for Manchester United, it was a perfect moment for them to get their first win over Chelsea. Beating them in the semi-final, revenging for their last season's final loss to the Blues, and then basically proving to them that they are better than them, that they can be able to decide things in their favor. So for this, for this performance, I would say Manchester United totally deserve it. And of course, we did not lack the drama. There was always drama. It's always drama in the FA Cup. There was a moment of what do I call it? There was a moment of confusion, a moment of a moment of bickering between Militana and her England international teammate Lauren James. Remember, after Lauren James pulled one back for Chelsea, because Lauren James scored at the stroke of halftime, just before the teams went on into the break. Lauren James pulled one back after some very, very excellent performances and drive from Niam Charles in the left hand side of Chelsea's attack. Yeah, so she pulled one. She pulled a cutback for Lauren James, and the England winger playmaker. She did not make a mistake this time, finishing with a well taken shot at the roof of Manchester United to make it 2-1 and half the arrears, half the deficit for Chelsea. And in the scacaffle of all that, with Chelsea wanting to to restart the game immediately, and then Manchester United trying to kill time and and derail their momentum, just slow down the game a little bit. Militana there got booked after her shenanigans, trying to stop Chelsea from having a quick restart of the game. Anyways, from a defensive perspective, that was very smart of her, although it did come at a price. As I've told you, she got booked, and getting a yellow card in such a feisty game with still 45 minutes to play, and you are a defender defending against Chelsea, that is a tough one. But Manchester United, they rallied. They really came through for themselves. The likes of Maya Lettice and Militana, they really put in very, very good performances. And of course, the player of the match for me, it had to be none other than Lucia Garcia. The Spanish international has been on a very, very good form this season for Manchester United. Despite the team not performing up to the standard, despite them not living up to last season's expectations after their season breaking, history making season last time out, I mean. Remember, Manchester United, they finished as the runners up in the WSL and runners up in the FA Cup after falling down narrowly to Chelsea. Manchester United led for the entirety of the season. It was like Arsenal in 21-22 all over again, before Chelsea took advantage with their games at hand and beat United at the last minute of it. They literally beat Manchester United for the title, because losing out to them in both games, home and away, because they were just among the few games that Manchester United lost last season, and they proved to be the fatal blow, as finally Chelsea restored themselves to par and won the WSL. So Manchester United, going into this match, they were looking out for revenge in so many avenues, for the WSL, for the FA Cup. Yeah, so losing out to Chelsea in back-to-back penultimate moments for 2 titles, it was a very, very painful ordeal for Manchester United last season, and they made sure that they were not going to go through all over again. They were not going to go through it again by winning their game and knocking out the defending champions and having sort of last laugh against Emma Hayes. They have now stopped them from winning the treble. And I know Chelsea sort of, they will not really be disappointed that much in terms of the overall general things, but they really did want that treble, considering when their quadruple dreams ended at Molineux against Arsenal, against another old rival, against another foe, another historical rival. So for them to go again and lose to Manchester United in another cup, I would say it was disappointing. Yeah, and the way things are looking, Chelsea are at risk of coming out empty-handed if they continue with this sort of sort of form, because I know in terms of gameplay you can tell that the things are not that bad, but at the end of the day, the results have to match, because football is a game of results. Indeed, football is a game of results. And even if you're playing so well and you're not being able to get over the line and make it count, at the end of the day, it comes to bite you. And this is what happened to Chelsea. Now, this is the second tournament that they've been dumped out. And remember, they still have Barcelona to play in the UEFA Women's Champions League semi-final. And then they have to catch up with Manchester City. Yeah, they have their games in hand, of which they're going to play the first of them tomorrow evening. They're going to be playing against Aston Villa at home. One of their games in hand against Manchester City. But now the pressure is on them. The pressure is on them to deliver. And it does not look good for Emma Hayes' side. This is football at the end of the day, yeah, and Aston Villa as a team, as an entity, as a fraternity, they've been having the last couple of good, they have been having a last couple of good days, they've been having last good weeks. Remember, the men's team managed to beat Arsenal and derail their plans to knock them off the top of the Premier League. They beat Arsenal 1-0 away from home, and the under 21s also beat Arsenal away from home. So there's a feel good factor for Villa as a fraternity going into this game. The men have done it, the juniors have done it, so it is up to you, the women, to do it. And they've done it in the big moments, especially for the men's team beating Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates. That was huge because it just helped them cement top 4 status. So the morale could rub off the women's team as well. And going on to King's Meadow, going on into King's Meadow on Wednesday night, they might fancy themselves, even if it's not winning, but scrambling Chelsea's plan. And Chelsea just need to drop a point. Currently, Manchester City are leading Chelsea in the WSL with 3 points and a goal difference of +2. So if you look at it, the pressure is on Chelsea to not only get the 3 points, but to also make up on the goal difference and even go one further. Because as it looks, Man City are going to give Chelsea a run for their money, and they will really, really rely on a lot of things, including a good hefty goal difference. Because on the head-to-head between them and Manchester City have scored more goals, even though they've conceded a few more than Chelsea. So already it does not look good for them. And also, again, on the head-to-head, Manchester City have taken 4 points away from Chelsea. Remember, they beat them at the King's Meadow, and then they drew 1-1 at the Manchester City Stadium. So you see, if it comes to a tie of the points, it will be very, very difficult for Chelsea to get over the line. And it will be very funny considering Chelsea were in line for a quadruple this season on Emma Hayes' last season as a Chelsea manager before Lyon's manager Sonia Bompasta takes over. So Chelsea are approaching these last few games with a chip on their shoulder, sort of like a pressure. They're going into it looking like a bit shaky, On paper, Chelsea are very good, like we all say, on paper they are good. But then again, remember, this is football, and football, it doesn't have any manners, as we like to call it, as we like to put it out here in the 254. Football, mpira ina adabu bana. Anything can change, and it can change so fast. So for Chelsea, they really need to get their affairs in order. They really need to restore their mindset. Because if this sort of losing streak continues all the way to the Champions League or maybe into the league, it could prove very, very detrimental and fatal to their silverware dreams this season. And remember, this is a history-making season. This is proving out to be a history-making season. Arsenal won their 7th extending record Conti Cup title. And then we're going to be having a new FA Cup champion, either Spurs or Manchester United. Yeah. it could maybe prove also as well in the WSL. Remember, City have not won the title since 2016. It's been 8 years. It's been 8 years since Manchester City last won a title. So, and the way they are looking at this season, led by the Jamaican international Barney Shaw, who is currently the WSL's top scorer with 20 goals, it could prove to be one of those seasons. It could prove to be one of those seasons whereby things just go catastrophically wrong for Chelsea. So, anyways, as I said, Chelsea still have a lot to play out for in this season. Despite their loss in the FA Cup to Manchester United, despite them being knocked out in those two titles, the Conti Cup and the FA Cup, Chelsea could still go on and defend their title. Remember, they have a game in hand, and then they have the squad to do it, and then they have the right profile of a manager to do it. Remember, this is Emma Hayes. This is the most successful manager in women's football in the division. This is the most decorated manager in England's women's division. So you can never rule out Emma Hayes. Even I, as an Arsenal fan, know that you can never rule out Emma Hayes. She has the capability and she has the squad to just turn things around, especially when things are not going on well for them. Chelsea do have a knack of coming in through at the much needed moments. They have a knack of making it count when they are needed the most. So I wouldn't rule out Chelsea. Not for anyone. But the effect of those results is it now gives them an extra added level of pressure going on into the remaining two competitions that they are in. That is the Champions League and the WSL. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Chelsea they have a lot of work cut out for them. Remember, they're playing Barcelona on the 20th of April. That is basically next week. Yeah, next week they're going to be playing. It's not even next week. It's basically this coming weekend. They're going to be playing Barcelona in the semi-final. It will be a rematch of last season's semi-final. Remember, Chelsea fell short courtesy of a 2-1 loss. Yeah, losing 1-0 at home before they drew 1-1 away at the Camp Nou. So Chelsea will be looking to make amends. And I know Emma Hayes, this is a title she has never won. She last did it as an assistant manager, winning it with Arsenal. And also that is when the last time that Emma Hayes was on the winning side of a quadruple season as an assistant manager to Vic Akers at Arsenal Women. So Emma Hayes, she might not have gotten everything that she wanted, that is a quadruple and maybe the Champions League, but she still has a chance to get the other one. This one is the most elusive one. It is the one that has eluded her in her managerial career. And also remember, Chelsea are looking for revenge. As I told you, they lost to Barcelona last season in the semi-final. So they are looking out for revenge. And remember, they lost narrowly. They lost narrowly, losing just 1-0. So they'll feel like they have a lot to play for and they have a lot to prove to them, not only to their fans but to themselves as well, because if they can be able to get a good result against Barcelona, that is, they can be able to knock the defending champions out, it will spur them on. It will give them a morale like no other going on into the final. So never rule out Chelsea and Emma Hayes. Yeah. But anyways, beside from all that, this was all about the FA Cup. Yeah. So in the final, we are going to be having Manchester United versus Spurs, and as I've told you, Spurs are the home team in terms of formality. Nothing, and basically they might be also the home team because given the game will be played at Wembley, and Wembley is in London. And if you remember, Spurs, there was a season Spurs used to play their home games in London when they were building their Tottenham Hotspur stadium. So maybe Spurs could prove themselves to be, it has also been a groundbreaking season for Spurs since the signing of Bethany England and Martha Thomas and the welcoming of the new manager in Villarham. Things are looking like they're improving at the across the Seven Sisters Road. So let's see how Spurs take it. Remember, they beat Arsenal for the first time in all competitions this season, courtesy of a Martha Thomas goal, as I told you. They had never done it at all in all competitions in their entire history. And they were able to do it at home. At home. When they had that homely feel. So who knows? Maybe they will pull the same antics at Wembley, And for this one, it has a lot of history. Remember, Grace Clinton will not be playing against Manchester United. She'll not be playing against her parent club. Grace Clinton, she's on loan at Spurs. She's been on loan at Spurs, and she's been a vital performer for Villarreal. She's been very good. She's been key to the good form that Spurs have been having since the beginning of the season, and also as well the aforementioned Martha Thomas. Remember, she's a former Manchester United player. She joined Spurs in the summer from Manchester United, so she might have a lot to prove to herself, and also she will want to show Manchester United they were wrong for not giving her a chance. And the season that she's been having, you never know. She could be the one who could be making the difference. Yeah. But then again, also for Manchester United, this is like a second chance. They've been offered a second chance to revive themselves. A second chance at redemption. Remember, Manchester United, they lost last season. Last season they lost to Chelsea in the finals. So for them to be able to make it back to Wembley, for the second season running, first of all, that one instills a lot of confidence. It shows them that they can do it, and to be able to do that, they have not been performing that well in the WSL. As I told you, they've dropped off in terms of quality and in terms of the performances. They've slackened a little bit in the WSL. And then again, they also lost out very cheaply in the Conti Cup. They went out early, losing out to Villa in the group stage, courtesy of some dramatic decisions there. It was a game. That game against Villa, it had a lot of things going on. Yeah, but for Manchester United, basically, this is the only trophy that they have a chance to win this season. And for a club of Manchester United stature, not just the women's team, but the brand itself. Remember, they're having a new beginning. They have a new ownership in terms of the football side. Boyhood fan Sir Jim Ratcliffe has taken over, and among his priorities has always been to revive the women's team, to bring it back, to make it a global competing fraternity and name in the women's division. So what could prove better to usher a new beginning at Old Trafford than Manchester United winning the FA Cup? The FA Cup is a prestigious title in England. It is a very big one. It is a traditional cup. It is the longest running traditional tournament in Europe. So for Manchester United to win it, it will be monumental. It will be huge for them. First of all, it will be the first major title that Manchester United women have won. Because, we are not counting the championship. Sorry, but we are not going to count the championship. When you are going to play in the big leagues, we only count the big league trophies. So, for Man United to win the FA Cup, it will be a coming of age. It will be a coming of age sort of statement for them. It could finally prove that they're strong enough and big enough to compete against the big girls in the division. And we all know Manchester United usually back up their managers in the transfer. We saw it last season with the addition of Grace Mallard, with the addition of Tulis Joyce, by the way, who has played very few games in this season, but it has been down to the impressive performances of Mary Apps. Again, we saw them signing Irene Guerrero, and then we saw them signing former Barcelona striker Gise Ferreira. So, in terms of support in the transfer, Manchester United really they do pull up. And as I told you, this is a new era. It is the Sir Jim Ratcliffe era. So we've already seen the developments that have been happening. The team has got in a new gym, state-of-the-art gym. Then they've also had the addition of therapists and supportive and recovery staff. They've added new facilities for the women's team and new staff, especially in the recovery and conditioning, to get them ready for matches and all. So who knows, if Manchester United can go all the way and win their first FA Cup, who knows what is to come in the other one. And remember, the previous season, it will be a good first 5 years for Manchester United, because the previous season they were competing for the title, they lost out narrowly. Again, they were competing for the FA and lost out narrowly. So for them to be able to come back again this season and come for the FA Cup, it will be very, very monumental for them. So that one is pretty much it, and it is proving out to be a very, very good season in the women's division in England. Yeah. So that was how the FA Women's Cup unfolded in the weekend, and it does prove that the teams are leveling up. Yeah, it was exciting for sure. We cannot say it was not exciting. It did deliver. And the women's game is continuously delivering. So this is a big win for football. It is a big win for women's football, and it is a big win for Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspurs. Both of them, they have a chance of making history. And at the end of the day, we are going to have a new champion. That one in itself is going to be a motivation to even the other teams, to end the reign of Chelsea and Arsenal and Manchester City, as the so-called traditional big three. Yeah? That one will send a message to other teams and show them that it is working, it is possible. So, as you digest that, let us get on to sort of be paying our bills, and we'll get back to you in the next few minutes. So, what did you think? What did you think of Manchester United win at the weekend over Chelsea? Do they have a chance of finally winning the FA Cup, or Spurs and Bethany England and Martha Thomas are going to take them back to earth and pull them down to reality? What do you think? Give us your opinions. Reach us out on social media. You can find us on X. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. Just give us your opinions. Who is going to win the FA Cup final? Who is going to win the trophy? Will it be Manchester United, or will it be Spurs? Yeah. In the meantime, let us get paying our bills, and we'll be right back with you. Elsewhere in the Women's Super League, Arsenal were the only side to be playing this weekend, as the Gunners look bid to catch up with the rest of the WSL guys, having played a game less from the other competitors. So Arsenal looking to catch up with the others. They were playing against a Bristol side who are flirting with relegation, basically the bottom side of the table, with 6 points. 6 points from 18 games. Is it 18? Yeah, this was it. This was their 18th game. This was their 17th game. So Arsenal looked good to make on their promise, as they were looking to at least get back into winning ways in the WSL. Remember their last match in the WSL, they lost to Chelsea, losing 3-1 away from home, and all but ending their WSL title hopes. So for Arsenal, they were mostly just playing to cement their status and to protect their spot of the Champions League, because Manchester United themselves were coming in hard, they were coming in strong, and they were looking to usurp them in that last position for the UEFA Champions League. So Arsenal hosted Bristol City at Meadow Park, and the Gunners did not disappoint, winning 5-0 away from home. A brace from Alessia Russo and Beth Mead, either side of an own goal from Powell, were enough to send Arsenal and maintain them in their third spot, and 9 points away from Manchester City and 6 points away from Chelsea. Yeah. So this is how Arsenal lined up. Sabrina D'Angelo coming in goal. and Leah Williamson and Ruben Moy at the heart of the defense. Then we had Emily Fox playing in at right back with Australian international and standing captain Steph Catley pulling in at left back. In the middle of the pitch, we had Victoria Pelova pairing with the ever-impressive, vastly experienced captain Kim Little, while on the flanks we had the return of Australian international herself, Caitlin Ford, and on the other right hand of the attack we had Bethany Jane Mead. And for the first time in so many games, we saw the Alessia Russo and Stina Blackstenius playing up together, with the Swedish forward, playing in as Arsenal's out-and-out striker, supported in by Alessia Russo in the number 10 role. But as we all know, there's really nothing like a static position in football. So that is how Arsenal lined up. In the bench, we had number 1, Manu Zinsberger. Then we had Ireland's captain Katie McCabe, and then we had Chloe Lacasse, who has been very impressive in the last couple of few games, including a very, very good performance in the Conti Cup final. Then we had the return of Austrian international, who comes back after almost 200 days away from football. Laura Windrother, who pulled up last season with a nasty ACL injury, and having worked so hard most of the season, she's been able to make it back to the bench. And Laura Windrother, as she's like to be called, Vin, was able to make it back into the squad. And also, it was also a very, very emotional moment for most Arsenal fans, as Tia Goldie, the academy graduate who has been very, very unfortunate to not been a consistent performer for this Arsenal side due to a back-to-back ACL injury. So she was able to make it back into the squad. And then we had Arsenal, as it is true to their nature. We had young academy graduates in Vivian Leah, the wide forward, the attacking midfielder, and then we had centre back Katie Reid pulling up in the bench. So Arsenal were really stuck. They had a lot of options, and oddly missing was Viviana Miedema, with the Dutch international still nursing a reoccurring small injury, not to be confused with the ACL injury that she had last season, but she had a small reoccurrence of a slight knee issue, so she was not able to make it into the match they scored. Also, Arsenal were missing Switzerland captain and vastly experienced midfielder Leah Walty, who was out injured with a knee injury, and she was spotted wearing a knee brace, and she was among the technical bench at Meadow Park. Also missing for Arsenal was Australian international Kyra Coney-Cross. Kyra Coney-Cross, Jonas told us she was not able to make it the match day squad due to a slight minor issue, but she will be available for the next game. So this was the Arsenal side. It arguably is a very, very strong starting 11, and for the first time we saw we saw Russo and Blackstenius play together since their game at Leigh Sports Village against Manchester United earlier on in the season. Jonas, finally he has lived it to expectation, The fans have been demanding this one a lot. As for Bristol City, this is how they lined up. At goal we had Bentley, protected in by a back three of Aspin, Connolly and Stratigakis. Then in midfield we had the likes of Powell and Morgan, who are playing in as wing backs, parading in the flanks and running channels down the right and left hand side of the flanks. Then in the middle of the park we had Rogers and Simi, and then at the heart of the attack, it was the Bristol best performing player, Amalie Thestrap, their most impressive performing player this season, and their goal scorer this season. Amalie Thestrap led the line, flanked in by former Arsenal player Lisa Evans and Napier on the left hand side of attack. So Bristol pulling in a 3-5-2 formation that could arguably fall back to a 5-3-2 in case when Arsenal were becoming too much in the attack. On the bench we had Clark, and then we had Yanis, and then we had Strack and Lazel, and then we had Farnes, who earlier, remember in the previous game, Farnes scored the goal as Arsenal won 2-1. Then the rest of the substitute, we had Bull, and then we had Jones, and then we had Ward, and then finally we had Slocum. So that is how Bristol City lined up in their visit to Arsenal. So things kicking out. Stina Blackstenius there being the Arsenal's top scorer with 16 goals in all competitions, beating the likes of Russo, who had 10 going into the match.
In those 9 meetings, Arsenal have scored 44.
Remember Jonas Eidavel was serving a 1-match touchline ban after having accumulated 3 yellow cards in the season. So he was watching from the stands and he was not able to communicate with his bench in real time and influence the match in Arsenal's favour.
Who worked tirelessly to get there. Brilliant from Ford.
Beth Mead there, starting in with the goals after some very, very impressive work from Caitlin Ford on the left-hand side of Arsenal, and Jen Bethany Mead was there to to take advantage and slot in the first one home. But what a beautiful run of play. Caitlin Ford there running the channel, beating her defender, and she could have scored herself, but the rebound fell back into Jane Mead, and Bethany Mead made it 1-0. Arsenal kept coming, and they were proving to be dangerous with every attacking move. Catley could have had a second one.
Really nicely done by Bailey.
Victoria Pelova there hits the bar.
What a terrific strike that
The
was.
Dutch international there, she could have made it 2-0. Arsenal had so many chances in the first half. It was looking like it was one of those days whereby Arsenal just can't take advantage of their chances. They had so many of them. Blackstone also there had to force Bentley into a save. And Arsenal's top scorer, once again, she was denied from making it 2-0 for the Gunners. And Arsenal kept pushing, and finally, in the 20th minute, Russo had a chance that she couldn't put on goal, and then from the resounding rebound, Beth Mead tried to look for Stina Blackstenius, but the Swedish national could not stretch the ball in and put it in the back of the net. Arsenal kept coming, knocking. Bristol City, they could not contain Arsenal in the first half. What a good first half from the Arsenal. What a first flurry of 20 minutes. Again, the ever-impressive Caitlin Ford proving in to be the danger before Kim Little unleashed a shot that just fizzled in the short part of the attack.
Beautifully done. Fell over just wide. They could easily have had 4 or 5 here, couldn't they? That dominant.
Yeah, and I think that will be the frustration.
You're counting 4, I'm counting 5 or 6 ones there.
Ford. Is it going to fall to Beth Mead in there again?
And then finally, Beth Mead makes it 2-0 with her second of the match and her 7th of the season.
And desperately wanted. There was certainly some.
To be fair, it could have been more. Just as the commentator has said, it could have been more, because Arsenal in the first 30 minutes, they had like 4, 5, 6 chances on goal. They just couldn't finish them as well. And finally, they are rewarded with their second one. Beth Mead, fresh from having a good international outing with England, makes it 2-0. And then they were favoured by fortune in the third one, as Catley's pulled back, trying to cross in for Stina Blackstenius, the ball deflecting to Powell's foot, and it was a third one for Arsenal. 34th minute, already Arsenal leading 3-0. This was going to be a long day for Bristol City. It was going to be a very, very long evening for them.
There could be a chance here for Bristol City. That's into the away end, unfortunately. It's a lovely turn by Ford.
That made there losing her footing, and she couldn't make it. She couldn't take advantage of it.
absolutely frenzied defending in there from Bristol. Young Morgan again. Would that run through for Powell? Not quite, but it is a corner. Could have worked for Fox to do there, and that's short. Picked up by Evans, and it. That is the half-time whistle. Well, about as dominant a first-half performance as you could.
It was a comprehensive performance for Arsenal in the first half, and to be honest, they could have had more. Yeah, let not the scoreline fool you. Could have been more. So Arsenal there kept pushing and adding in, with Beth Mead looking to find in to finish off her hat-trick.
Trying to place it there.
Emily Fox there with a chance, trying to place it in the far left corner, but Bentley was well up to her and she parried the shot outside to stop the Arsenal, the Canadian, the American international, from getting her first Arsenal goal. Then Russo in the 55th minute, she tried to get in on goal, passing up to Mead before the England international unleashed a wicked right foot going on into the top of the corner, but could not have been.
Best chance of Bristol City have had.
Sabrina was largely unneeded back in goal, but the moment when she was required, she pulled in with a save to keep Arsenal's clean sheet, and she maintained it to give Arsenal a run into the match. Then Russo in the 58th minute with a belter into the right hand side of the corner of the attack, and she gave Arsenal extending their lead to 4-0. What a goal! What a shot from the England Lionesses forward. That was a beautiful one. Alessia Russo at her best, beating Bentley. The shot proving to just be powerful enough beyond her reach. She did have carry her arms into it, but she could not stop it from nesting in the bottom corner. And Arsenal, just like that, went into a 4-0 lead. Beth Mead looking for a hat-trick, but she could not make the best chance from it. Yeah, and Bentley punches it outside for a corner.
Catley's corner. Oh, it's loose. That's some save.
Arsenal had a shout for a penalty, but to be honest, that one there was pretty not much going into it. Yeah. Arms completely in the natural position. There's nothing much the defender could have done. Kim Little there running things. She almost scored another one herself, but saved by Bentley. The Bristol City had a lot to depend on their goalkeeper, because it could have been worse. It could have been more than the 5. Bentley there also again denying Emily Fox from scoring her first Arsenal goal. That was a proper good save from Bentley in goal.
Well, Bentley's certainly been busy, and this is a brilliant save.
It is very it is quite unusual to see a goalkeeper with so many saves in a game that he has conceded so many goals.
Really good effort, shows great agility.
Can anyone stand in? No is the answer. And Fox has got it through to
McCabe. Russo has second in the 75th minute. She makes it 5-0 for Arsenal. And what a pinpoint precision finish from the England international. That was beautiful. It was even beautiful than her first one. The technique in the finish, it's very hard to really. It was almost like a no-look to be able to put it in the bottom left-hand side of the goalkeeper. It was a great finish, Manze. It was so good. For me, it is better even than her first one. What a goal by Alessia Russo. 2 in quick succession for the England international to take her tally for the season to 12 goals. That is 12 goals in all competitions for Alessia Russo now.
That's right down that left side. The ball goes off and Lucas comes on. Over here. Trying to dance through everyone and drill forwards by Russo. Would have been the hat-trick.
Pelera there with the magic feet. The Dutch international has been so very good to watch this season. She's been so nice. Russo could have had her hat-trick, but it wasn't to be. Yeah, the control, the way she takes up the ball, only the finish was lacking.
Was it going to falter? Oh, drilled wide by Pelova.
And then in the 82nd minute, Arsenal were blessed with the introduction of Laura Windreuther from a very, very long ACL injury. The Austrian international was back in the team and back in the game for Arsenal. Yeah.
So only missed one pass. Unbelievable.
What a wonderful victory for Arsenal. They get a standing ovation from their manager and from the crowd here inside the Mangata UK Stadium. Couple of goals for Beth Mead in the first half.
So Arsenal, they are running out 5-0 winners against Bristol City with a very, very comprehensive professional performance, beating out the Robins 5-0, and then managing the game very well, dominating in all aspects of it, and you know, this was basically Arsenal. This is what the fans were demanding. This is what, as Arsenal fans, this is what we've been waiting for. And it does feel like it's a bit too late, you know, as much as yes, the win was very impressive, but it was a tad bit too late. As you can see there, Kim Little was the player of the match, with a very, very impressive performance. She had 1 assist. She was joint top in terms of the assists, and then she created 4 chances. This was the best in the game. She had 130 passes, 136 touches, which were both the second best in the game. And then what was most impressive was her passing accuracy. She had a 99% passing accuracy. I mean, she did not put a pass wrong. She did not put a move wrong. Like Kim Little at her very best. This is Kim Little as we always come to know her, the living legend. She's not only an Arsenal legend, but she's a WSL living legend. She was displaying certain levels that we've not seen in the WSL. So that was very, very impressive again. And as for Arsenal, it was nice to see the likes of Laura Windreuther back, as I've mentioned to you. She's been away for so long due to an ACL. And then also seeing the likes of Katie Reid. Katie Reid came in the 84th minute to finish the last 6-7 minutes of the game, replacing assistant captain Leah Williamson. So this is proving out to be it was nice. It was nice for the Arsenal battalion to see the young ones coming into the game. It was quite the sight, and also the return of Tia Goldie back in the team. You know, after though that long absence from a double ACL, it is so unfortunate, Manze. It's been so unfortunate for her, considering she's been having a very bad luck with fitness. She got an ACL at the end of 2021-22 season, fracturing her right leg, and then as the 22-23-24 season was kicking off, she also got another ACL on the other leg. It really has to be painful in terms of the mental anguish of it all, you know. Because as you all know, with ACL injuries, they are very, very nasty. They take so much time away from your career, and you know, it sort of builds you into a place whereby sometimes you are even afraid to take on into the game, because you know, having the memory of being injured in the previous moments in the previous game. So it does influence things a lot. But for players who tend to survive and tend to come back, it is just a show of strong mentality, a very, very strong mentality from players to be able to come back. And for Arsenal, considering all the things that they happened for them last season, losing all those key players to ACL. Remember, Arsenal last season, they had 2 ACLs in the front, in Vivian Miedema and Beth Mead, and then at the back they had another 2 ACLs in Leah Williamson and Laura Windreuther, and then, as the aforementioned, the ACL, the double ACL injury to Tia Goldie. And then again, early on in this season, young goalkeeper and American international Kaylan McKees also got another ACL, but she's been quickly recovering. She's almost getting back to grass. She's already doing her running in the gym. She's doing some couple of gym work, so it's good to see her back. But at the end of it all, considering she had been loaned out to Bristol City in what would have been a good season for her to impress and to also show Jonas that she deserves to get back into the team, you see, ultimately the ACL injury, it robbed her of that opportunity. And this has been the story of women's football and ACLs. It has, up to date, we have like over 100 plus ACLs alone in the last 6 months, in the last 4 months of women's football across all leagues, across all nations. So remember, as I was telling you in the previous segment, Chelsea have lost 3 players this season due to ACL, 2 strikers in Sam Kerr and Maya Fischel, and then in the heart of defense they have lost Newen to ACL, and then again Manchester City themselves, they've lost 3 players as well. Jill Rood has been ruled out from the season because of an ACL injury, and also the likes of Sandy McCleaver, the goalkeeper. And this one was so bad that it even led to Manchester City being granted an emergency permission to sign in another goalkeeper towards the end of the season. Because, you know, again, with injuries coming thick and thin, with games coming right, left, and center, you never know. It's always good to have that option. And remember, Ellie Roebuck has been having health problems from the beginning of the season, so she has not been able to participate and to be included in the match day squad, as well as we've seen, despite if it wasn't for the impressive feat of Kiara Keating rising up to the occasion and picking up the mantle this season, Man City would have been devastated, because losing out your second goalkeeper to ACL injury, already losing out your first choice goalkeeper to health and diseases, you know, and it's the beginning of the season, it could have been daunting for them. So Manchester City have been given an emergency permission to be able to sign in a goalkeeper, and they've gone in for Brighton's goalkeeper. They've gone in for Brighton's second goalkeeper, because they could not have been allowed to sign Bagali, because she has been so impressive and key for Brighton this season. So they've gone in for one of Brighton's second goalkeeper to be able to fill in the matchday squad, because this is basically just filling up the matchday squad. There's no way Manchester City are going to be fielding a new goalkeeper who has not been in rhythm and in tune with the team, you know, when they are in the middle of a title chase, which currently they are in the driving seat. So this is majorly just as a caution to just put Manchester City in a good place in terms of to give them options in case something bad happens. So this is basically how the WSL was in the weekend, and that was how things unfolded. Arsenal, remember, they were the only ones playing, because the other game, it was an FA Cup weekend, and as we saw earlier in the segment, Chelsea have been knocked out by Manchester United, and Chelsea are now at a risk of losing all of their trophies. Chelsea are at a risk of coming out empty-handed in the 23-24 season. Remember, they have been knocked out now out of 2 competitions. They lost to Arsenal in the Conti Cup final, and then now they were knocked out by Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final. So the dreams of a treble, they are now gone. So the best that Chelsea can do now is a double, hoping to win the WSL League and the Champions League. But it will be coming at an easy way, because remember now, Manchester City, they were able to take advantage of this. So Manchester City leading the WSL table with 3 points and 2 goals extra, although Chelsea have a game in hand, which will be coming in the middle of the week on Wednesday when they take on Aston Villa at Kings Meadow Park. Chelsea will be looking to get back to winning ways, because considering since their Conti Cup final loss to Arsenal, Chelsea have not won any game. Although, to be fair, they've only played 1 game, which was the FA Cup semi-final to Manchester United. But then again, it does create a sort of it creates a sort of they're losing it out it is a loss in momentum. It brings on a sort of, not negative, I will not say exactly a negative energy around the team, but it is, when you're not winning games and you are basically, for those, especially the Conti Cup, it was not such a major game for Chelsea. It was big in that it could have given them the quadruple, which is basically what Chelsea have been looking to do, because in the women's football history, only Arsenal have been able to win a quadruple, and in fact they won a six quintuple, winning six trophies. But it was back in the day, back when women's football in England was hardly professional. It had a few professionals, so basically for Chelsea to have won the modern day quadruple, it would have meant more, definitely, considering the growth of the game and the direction where things are heading now. So for Chelsea to lose out in that game, it was sort of disappointing, but not in a huge kind of manner, because they could still go on for the treble. Now for them to also to go on again and lose to Manchester United and lose their treble path and dreams, now this one, it sort of brings in those doubts, and because the games that are remaining, they're not easy. First of all, remember they're facing Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final. As I mentioned in the other segment, it is not going to be an easy game. Barcelona already have their number. They've beaten them in the final before, outclassing them to a 4-0 win in the 1920 season. And then remember again, in the 2022-2023 season, Barcelona knocked Chelsea out, albeit narrowly, but they did knock them out in the Champions League semi-final. So this one sort of puts Chelsea in that sort of place whereby they are doubting themselves a little bit, because they are not getting the results as needed. And then they're facing an opponent who seems to be always getting the better of them. So it does pull in a couple of doubts for Chelsea. But again, as I told you, never rule out Chelsea. So this one will be a great couple of days to come as we see how Chelsea will react to them exiting the two titles and ending their quadruple hopes. So in the meantime, Manchester City will be hoping Chelsea lose out so that they can be able to go on and win their very own first title in 80 years. Remember, City have not won a title. They have not won the WCL title since 2016. So they'll be looking to do just that. Yeah. So in the rest of the matches for game week 19 in the WSL, remember this game week, as I told you in the previous episode, it is going to run on from this weekend that has just gone by to the next one. So Chelsea are going to be playing in midweek against Aston Villa at home, while Aston Villa will be playing against Chelsea at home, as Arsenal play Leicester City in the next weekend. Manchester United will be hosting Spurs at Old Trafford. So this one is going to be very, very interesting. It is going to be a preview of the FA Cup final, because those two sides are the ones who have made it to this season's FA Cup finals. So they'll be meeting once more again in the league, and this time it will be played at Old Trafford. I think it is going to be played at Old Trafford. So Manchester United will be looking to put out the message and show Spurs who is going to give them a preview of what is going to happen. But then again, Spurs will not go down easy, and they might even go out and take the points away from Manchester United, considering the way the season that they've been having. It's been a season of first for Spurs, as I told you before. They beat Arsenal for the first time in all competitions, and now they are in the FA Cup final for the first time in their history. So this one is going to prove to be a good opportunity for them. Yeah. So Chelsea themselves, as I told you, they'll be looking to get back to winning ways against Aston Villa. Meanwhile, Liverpool will be traveling to Bristol City, with Bristol City looking to get points at home, having came up short in their last trip to the capital, falling down to Arsenal 5-0. Yeah. And Manchester City will be finishing up against they'll be looking to finish the season in style. No, not finish the season. They'll be looking to keep the chase for the WSL when they take on sorry there, had a little issue. We had some little technical issues there. So Manchester City will be looking to end the season, to continue wrapping up the pressure on Chelsea when they visit West Ham United, while Everton themselves will be playing. They will be playing. Everton will be playing Brighton. Yeah, sorry, had a little mixed up there. Everton will be playing Brighton. That one will be on Friday night. So remember, this time the game, the next time you see WSL football, it's going to kick off on Wednesday night. Chelsea will be taking on Aston Villa. Then on Friday night, Brighton will be hosting Everton, while Saturday we'll see the only game of the day played out between Bristol City against Liverpool FC. And then on Sunday we are going to be having three major big games. We'll be having a preview of the FA Cup final between Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspurs, which will be played at Old Trafford, while Arsenal will be hosting Leicester City, who themselves will be looking to get back to winning ways after being knocked out by Tottenham Hotspurs in the FA Cup semi-final. Yeah, and then finally, last but not the least, Manchester City will be hosting West Ham United, looking to cement their top spot in the league, and put on the pressure to Chelsea. So remember, this game week 19, it is continuing all the way to next weekend. Yeah, so don't worry, don't feel like Arsenal are playing 2 game weeks ahead of the other one. So no, it is just a single game week wrapped up in two weekends. So that is how things are standing in the WSL. In the meantime, Manchester City continue to lead there with 46 points, having played 18 games, one more than Chelsea. Chelsea are second with 17 points. With 43 points, having played 17 games. And then in third place is Arsenal. Arsenal have 40 points themselves, having played 18 games. 6 points away from Manchester City and 3 points away from Chelsea. And remember, Manchester City have yet to play Arsenal. Yeah, Manchester City have yet to play their second leg against Arsenal. Although it will be at home, but it is going to be quite another big game for Arsenal, because they could just spoil the things for Manchester City, because I know Arsenal are looking to go into this game to win it, and then hoping things go better for them, because they still harbor some slight chances. They still harbor some slight chances of winning the league, but it will be very, very close. It will take a monument from both Manchester City and Chelsea. And if Arsenal can influence it on their own through beating Manchester City, why not? But realistically, this one, it is Chelsea's or Manchester City's title to lose. But then again, remember, this is football. Hii ni mpira hudunda, as we like to call it, as we like to say in the 254, mpira hudunda, the football falls down. So Manchester City have to be resolute. They have to continue keeping up with themselves, and they have to continue being their very, very good selves and putting their best foot forward, because at this point, if they stumble just a little bit, the title is gone. So in fourth place we have Manchester United with 31 points, 9 points shy of Arsenal with 4 games to go. So Manchester United also, they can be making a late push for Arsenal's last spot for the UWCL, so UEFA Women's Champions League. So Arsenal have to be wary themselves. Liverpool are 5th with 29 points, while Tottenham Hotspurs come in 6th with 25 points. Aston Villa are 7th with 20 points. Brighton 8th with 18 points. Yeah, Leicester City having failed to take advantage. Leicester City are 9th with 17th, Everton 10th with 15 points, West Ham United 11th with 13, and finally, last but not the least, bottom side Bristol City, they are 12th with 6 points. So that is how the WCL table looks like going on into game week 19. And who do you think will be able to seize the day? Can Chelsea restore themselves back to glory? Can they get back to the top of the table going on into the weekend? Can they restore their lead up top against Aston Villa at home? Yeah, so that we can have a very, very dramatic end of the season. In the meantime, keep up with us. Continue keeping it Fantasy Football KE. We are available on all social platforms. You can reach us out on X, aka Twitter, at fantasy_footy_KE, and then you can also reach us out on our Instagram page and tell us who do you think is going to be lifting the WSL season. And as well, we had left you the earlier poll: who is going to win the FA Cup? FA Cup. Who is going to win the FA Cup in the women's division? So, 2 huge weekends coming on, as you can be able to see who is finally going to be able to take advantage of it the most. Yeah, I have been your host pale hivyo kama kawaida. I am _papa_ D. I am _papa_ D. I am your host, Papa Deno, or you can call me Papa D, whichever way you want it. And I've been your women's football ambassador, keeping you up to date with all matters women's football. And remember, the Champions League semi-final begin on the 20th of April. Next weekend we are going to be having a Champions League weekend. So that explains why Chelsea are not playing in the weekend and they are playing in midweek. So be sure to catch Barcelona versus Chelsea, as well as French affair Lyon versus PSG. All games will be played in the weekend. So let's wait and see how it unfolds. We are all equally excited for this. This is turning out to be one of the best women's football season that we've had in a while. If last season proved out to be better, this one is proving out to be even much better. Again, this is me leaving you out and I would like to sign out and let you have a fantastic week as you go on into it. May you be blessed, may things go out on your way, and may you be protected, but may you see each other in the next one. As usual, as I like to say, don't play yourself, protect your tool. This has been Fantasy Football KE. We are out. Adios.
He's the most wanted criminal. Yani hawa basi ni mama senare, watu ambao ni hatari kubwa zaidi.